Hey y'all, so it's me. I'm in DC right now, and I need to get out of DC and find me a McDonald's because I shouldn't have drunk that iced coffee. But anyway, so I just picked up this passenger, right? First of all, when I pulled up to her house, I was like, oh man, this is this older lady. She's just, you know, some people that I get in the car, you know, you can be like, hi, how you doing? How's your morning going? And they're nice, but she just seemed like very... like, don't talk to me. And I get it. Some people don't want to be talked to, right? So she gets in the car. And, you know, older people, I know, majority of them don't really like music that's loud. So I turn the music all the way down. She gonna say, could you please turn it all the way down? Because, you know, it's already down. And she's like, could you please turn it down again? Y'all, I'm not in the mood for it. So I looked at her and I said, you want to call yourself another Lyft? Like, I don't know what I'm not a taxi cab driver, but I mean, even though it's something like that, but if you don't like, first of all, I'm not playing any profanity in this car. I don't ever do that. And I have a lot of mixture, like Ella Fitzgerald or something that's really, really not too much or whatever like that. So she's all like, you know, at first she was like, could you turn it down? It was already down. I'm not going to turn the music off. You can go and find yourself another driver. I don't have to drive you. I don't. I don't know what you think I am, Bentley or somebody. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, okay, I get it if I got in a car and the music was pumping loud and they're playing profanity, but you wouldn't walk into a grocery store while they're sitting up here playing a station that's very low and say, excuse me, could you turn the channel? If you don't like the music or the rider that you're with, this is the second time I drove this lady. The first time I drove her, she seemed very, she just remind you of those, is this Union Station? She just seemed very like, she just wake up on the wrong side of the bed, like a real stern person. Like, you could say, how's your day? Fine. It's like, don't talk to me, drive. I'm like, I get it, you know, but I usually give everybody 5 stars. I gave her 2 stars. And I told them she complaining about my daggone music. Please don't mix me up with those type of people. I don't want to deal with those type of people. And what they'll do in Lyft is that if a driver give them a low star, then make sure you don't have to deal. I don't want to deal with her because, to be honest with you, when I pulled up, I was about to hit cancel and ride off in the mist. But I know that lady has to. Evidently, she works for the museums and stuff. But I'm like, she's like, could you turn it down? I'm like, it's not even loud. But I turned it down a little bit. Then I turned it down in a notch. And she all looking at me. I'm like, look, I just hit it right in the butt. You want to find yourself another Lyft driver? It ain't going to hurt me. It's not going to hurt me. It's not, you know. And like I said, some people have good experience. But what I realized too is that I had to go on Lyft because one time I saw on my review, somebody gave me a 2 stars. I said, you know, it's like, who gave me 2 stars? Not when I'm giving out waters and candies and catering to these people. But I had to go on Lyft like, y'all just allowing anybody and everybody. I was so upset. And they're like, ma'am, you've had over 88 reviews and all of them, 89, well, really up in the 90% of them have been 5 stars. But I'm like, why would you allow somebody to put 2 stars on there? And it was like, man, we don't, some people just want to be petty. I'm like, yeah, some people want to just be petty. But I'm like, I'm going to be petty too. I'm going to start giving out real stars. Like, I'm not going to be, now I got to sit up here and ride for the next 27 minutes dropping this lady off that looked like she the Grinch. And she's just mugging. And I'm just like, I don't have to take this. Next time, find yourself another rider. Find someone that's not going to make you feel comfortable. Find yourself somebody that, you know, you're going to have to do. Because I didn't had a lot of people. Like, this one guy was saying that a man pulled up. His car had to be like a 1980 whatever. It was an old school car, like some old Cutlass. It was dirty on the inside. The man was smelly. The seats were all dirty. It was like he was smoking cigarettes. The whole inside. He said he was so upset. He said he usually don't complain, but he like, this is a $400 suit. I'm going to church and I'm sitting here in this daggone car and it's dirty as heck. Now I was laughing. I said, are you serious? Because, you know, working for Lyft, they won't allow you. You have to have a certain type of vehicle in order to drive for them. It has to be a newer model. So this guy pulling up with an old school Oldsmobile. I said, he wrong as all get up. But he was upset about that, and he said he was so mad that he called it in on him. And yeah, so that last lady, I'm sorry, I gave her 2 stars. She better be glad she got started. I'm not gonna be sitting here riding because I don't want to listen to anything. If you don't want to listen to music, then get yourself a cab. If you don't want to listen to anything, or if it makes you feel uncomfortable, and I understand if it's profanity and stuff like that, then yeah. But if it's not profanity, then go somewhere else. But you got to understand the whole purpose for a lift is like, you know how they be like, can I get a lift? You going that way? Can I get a ride with you? That's what you're doing. That's because Lyft not paying me no benefits, and I'm already pissed at how much money they taking, and they know I'm pretty much out the door, and they're begging me to stay. So no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm sorry. You're not going to sit up here and then be turn the music down, ma'am. I turned it down a notch, then I turned it down 2 more notches. She looking at me like, I looked back at her and said, you want to call another Lyft? Are you sure? You can call another Lyft. I said it in a very nice way, though. And I usually get very good customers, but I'm like, I'm not doing that today. Today is not the day to be complaining. I need my tunes when I'm riding. I don't need my tunes. And you know, some people, like I said, it's very tasteful music. So I work in I worked in an office spot when I know what type of music you can play and what you can't play. I'm not going to play anything that's cursing, profanity, or just outright distasteful. You see what I'm saying? And I know that you're an older lady, so let me turn this music down before you get up in this car. You know what I mean? But you're not going to get in the car and be like, could you turn the music down? I'm like, it is down, okay. So I turned it down and some more notches, and and I just said, man, you want to call yourself another Lyft? She was like, no, okay. Yeah, now you okay. But oh yeah, you're gonna get 2 stars for that one, because you're not gonna sit up here when I drop you off, hitting traffic, waiting in traffic, feeling uncomfortable and getting bad vibes from you, and sit up here and go above and beyond and drop you off and you give me 1 star. That's not happening. I mean, this is, y'all, it's just, this is really a side hustle. This is temporary for me. Not everyone you can please. You just cannot. I remember when I was going above and beyond for these passengers, and I was doing everything. And then for like one lady, I was dropping her off at Howard. She seemed like a very nice lady I was talking to. I dropped her off at Howard. You know, she put a review. I wasn't driving right. I almost killed them. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And when I went on Lyft, and they were like, well, we're the only ones who can see this. No one else can see this. I'm like, how do you allow people to just put any type of reviews on your drivers? What's the name? Well, we know that the person wasn't telling the truth, because when she said that you were driving like a maniac, you didn't get any tickets. Of course not, I didn't get any tickets. Are you serious? Like, who wants tickets in DC? Everybody knows that your tickets double. Second of all, I'm a very good driver. I still do the whole 2-3 cars behind the other car. I'm looking at the speed limit. So, like, how do y'all do stuff like that? But anyway, like, this lady, when I tell you, she was just like, she was so dramatic. She was so dramatic. I'm like, okay, ma'am. I turned it down. And I was like, how about this? You want to catch another Lyft? Oh, no. Yeah, be quiet and sit and let me drop you off. And what I'm going to do is next time, I don't ever want to pick you up ever again. Ever. I met this one lady, and she worked for, oh Jesus, I don't want to get a ticket. I met this one lady. How do I get to Rhode Island Avenue? I met this one lady, and she worked for Uber. When I tell you, I said, dang, she's one of those drivers. She was like, I don't play with these people. Now, I don't dress to look cute. I wear these jeans. She said, because you don't know who getting up in your car. And she said, when they get to complaining before they get in, I put my phone down. And she go, y'all. She put her phone in the cut, like on the side of her leg, and she hit cancel and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, but your ride was canceled. you're gonna have to call another Uber ride. I'm so sorry. That's what I'm like. Wow. And let me tell you something too. What I found out about these Lyft rides, I will pull up to people's houses, right? And you know how you hit arrive. Lyft gives you 5 minutes to come downstairs. Now, I used to just wait there very nice. And my sister said she would call them and be like, your ride is here. And if they don't come, cancel. And she roll off. I'm like, Dad, Coco, you supposed to wait. She said, man, I'm out here trying to get money. I'm like, Dad, girl. So what I found is that, okay, now I do call them and be like, your Lyft ride is down, and they'll come downstairs, right? But what I found is going into certain areas like the hood, and we like to call, how do you get to Rhode Island Avenue? We like to call the hood, I guess in DC Southeast. So here I am in certain places, it'll give you 5 minutes to come downstairs, right? Soon as you hit Southeast, I looked at the time, and that timer said 1 minute. I said, oh, they wrong. They be giving those people 1 minute, because I had one rider, and he was saying that sometimes the drivers don't even come on that side. I said, for real? He said, yeah, but our money just like everybody else's money. And I thought that was bad, because it is people that do need rides. You know what I'm saying? And for you to say, man, I ain't going, like the lady in Uber, she was like, I don't do that end. No, I don't do Southeast. I'm not doing it. And she's like, I'm not doing that side. And oh man, you one of those riders that don't even go either. Now I'm gonna tell you, I will ride on that side, but I will lock my doors and I'll be looking around. Because my sister told me one time, she was driving, right, and she was going to Benner Road, and you know, she was driving for Lyft. And when she went over there to Benner Road, she had her doors locked, and as soon as she pulled up, it showed the profile that she was picking up a woman. And when she picked up this lady, I mean, she didn't pick up the lady, but she hit arrived, and she waiting for the lady to come out, because the profile is showing that she has a female passenger. So when she's waiting, this car pulls up with all of these dudes. I mean, these dudes jumped out the car, and she looked at the driver in the car, and it was like as if they was trying to come towards her car, and she was like, oh, HE double hockey sticks. Oh, hell no. Excuse my French, y'all. And then she went ahead and skirted off, and I was like, oh, snap. So she was like, Mona, make sure that your doors are locked. And I'm like, okay, I will. And she was like, that's why I really don't like to do night drive. And I'm like, okay, I will. And so she was telling me, sometimes you can put in a request saying, look, I'm a female driver. I only want female passengers. And I thank God that all of my passengers have really been good. And majority of the people that I do get are predominantly female. And they're sometimes mothers. And I honestly, I'm like, well, I'm glad I'm the person that's driving them and them and their babies to their destination, especially around this time of night, because you can, be like, who am I getting in a car with, and whoop whoop whoop. So I've had okay, but that lady today, y'all, you're not gonna ruin my mood, because you just like, I'm gonna be mean and I just don't do this. My suggestion is you need to have your own vehicle or hire your own butler or something like that, or you need to catch you a taxi cab driver. But I am not for that. And Lyft knows, like, hold up, y'all not paying like that. First of all, y'all taking my money. Y'all taking a percentage, okay? And I get it. I'm not gonna get in no car and all I'm hearing is some profanity and it's just out crazy music and it's just smelling like whatever. But if you're having a nice, enjoyable ride, I'm not going to turn my music off because I just don't want to listen to it. Well, then what you need to do is get you a car so you can turn your music all the way off, or you need to be like, look, I'll give you a $5-10 tip to turn that off. Well, I'll think about it. It's like, let me stop. No, y'all, I mean, when I tell you the music was very tasteful, and I turned it all the way down, and she was still like, oh, just so dramatic. And I'm looking at myself, I'm looking at her like she's gonna give me a bad review. And the music is not, like, people like that are nuts. So I was just like, you know what, ma'am, you want to go ahead and get yourself another Lyft? No, okay, no. You sure? Are you sure? Yeah, that was not. Look, I'm on my way to McDonald's again because I should have drunk this iced coffee. Yeah, but you know what? I hope she has a great day today. But I don't know if she's going to see them 2 little stars I gave her. I don't want to pick her up no more. And sometimes I be getting really nice people. Like this girl yesterday, I picked her up. And I'm like, oh, you on your way to this property? We talking about property management and stuff. And I'm like, oh, she's talking about, yeah, she just started a new position. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, so what time does she have to be to work? She got to be to work at 9 o'clock. And she got like 5 minutes to get there. And here we are, we like 10 minutes out. And I'm trying not to speed, but I'm trying to get her there on time. And I was like, yep, now you got like 2 minutes left. And I was like, make sure she was like, thank you so much for getting me on time. I'm thinking to myself, girl, you need to leave out early. But you know, stuff like that, I'm like, okay, you know, you kind of appreciate it. Somebody would say things like, you were really awesome, you were such an awesome driver. And one time I had one lady where I was picking her up, and I was dropping her off because she was like, sometimes it's so expensive, but she needed to go to Oxon Hill, and I was dropping her off at a subway station, and she was going to catch a train to go to Oxon Hill, but I had to go past the property in Oxon Hill. So I just told her, I went ahead and clocked her out and was like, well, I can take you up there anyway since I'm going. So I gave her like a free ride, you know. And I was like, just make sure you give me a good review. You know, she's like, I got you. So it's like I meet nice people. But y'all, this is not, I guess this really brushes up your skills with customer service. But I don't know what that lady thought today. Like, And when I tell y'all, it was not loud. I can understand, you know. I'm like, okay. But I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And I remember when I first started riding, it used to be, would you care what channel you would like to listen to? I mean, is there a certain preference you want to listen to? And I remember one time my sister was like, they was jamming in the morning. She was like, yeah, I usually turn it to this, that, and the third. And then she was like, nah, this right here is my channel. I don't care who in the car. You gonna listen to it. And one lady was like, no, I'm perfectly fine. It's your car. I'm catching a lift with you. You can choose what you want. And I was like, okay, cool. So then that's when I started making my own little playlist. And we gonna listen to what I'm gonna listen to. And it's funny because I'll get people that'll get in the car and they be like, oh, this is my jam. And they'll just start singing all loud and stuff, just enjoying themselves. And then you got other people that's just really like, I get older people too that be like, oh my goodness, you're listening to Jackie Wilson. And you know, you gotta mix it up for these people out here. But yeah, I'm like, come on, lady. The Temptations are on, and it's on very, 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 very all the way down, and you still like, oh. I said, well, how about this? You wanna find yourself another lift? No, I'm okay. Yeah, I don't want to ride with that, because I get, you know, when you're in a car with somebody, you want them to be comfortable because you are the driver. And at the same time, I want to be comfortable because you're the passenger. You behind me. You can spaz off and start doing some crazy stuff in the back seat. You know what I'm saying? Or it's vice versa. I mean, I'm not vice versa because I'm a really good driver. But I don't want to be in a car with somebody that I'm uncomfortable with. And sometimes too, I be getting riders that request a ride, and it's say biggest day Shannon, and here come this big 6'8" tall guy getting in the car. I'm like, Shannon? Yes. I'm like, you don't look like Shannon. Oh, that's my sister. I'm like, all right, I hope you ain't stealing nobody's phone. Like one time I got this guy, he had all tattoos on him, not judging tattoos or anything like that. But the name that I was picking up was named Love. As long as they have the name, then I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, what's the name? He gives me his name, but I'm like, that's not the name that's on the profile. Because sometimes you can have a different rider that's showing up. Like I had one time these guys get in the car, and I'm thinking it's the guy I'm supposed to be picking up, and the whole time they have a different driver, and I had a different rider. So the guys had to get out because we had the wrong people in. And he all getting upset. I'm like, I need you to say the name though. Well, what you got? I'm not going to tell you what I have, because you could probably stole somebody's phone and hit Lyft ride. You see what I'm saying? Like you have to have your good discernment of who you picking up and who you dropping off. You get what I'm saying? And at one time I had these two guys that got in a car, but I was so happy that the first guy that I picked up, he was a police officer, so he still had his stuff on, and he was in the back, so I was like, that I got reinforcements. But you know, sometimes it gets to the point where you just like, you gotta pick and choose or who you gonna pick, like, you know, pick up. If they too intoxicated, or if they're too if you just getting really bad vibes, you can just be like, man, don't take the ride and roll off. If it's an area where you just not feeling it, because I just showed up in an area where it's deep at night, and I'm like, oh, heck no. I done seen people crash, and or the car done flipped or whatever like that at night, and I'm like, Jesus. Like, I've seen some crazy stuff when it comes to like these Lyft rides and stuff out here. And then like I said, I get those rides where it's a single mother that's getting in the car with her children, or I'm picking up an 11-year-old or 13-year-old from school or high school or something like that. So I mean, sometimes you get good passengers, and majority of the time I do have good passengers. But passengers like that, I'm like, I'm not going for that. And her request was not so demanding. It's just the way that she was doing stuff, when I know that it was all the way down. And it's like, you know, I can understand some people just want to go somewhere and they don't want anything playing. Well, you need to catch yourself something else, because I'm not turning my music off. I'm just not, especially when it's not cursing or anything. And if some people like, well, you know, I like to ride with no music, then you need to get a car and ride with no music then, or put on some earbuds or some headphones. Because I have a lot of people too that get in the car. Good morning, sis. Give that Royal big kisses and hugs for me. Kiss her toes and tell her what is she doing today. Yeah, so sometimes I have people that are just like, they'll get in the car and they'll have like their little earbuds on or whatever, and they're listening to their own music, and I'm like, okay. And then sometimes I have people get in the car and they're like, let me ask you a question about this. Like, y'all, I had one lady, she got in the car and she was talking about, we were on the way to go pick up her children, and she talking about her man just got locked up. I said, oh, really? Yeah, he want to get married. I said, let me ask you this question. How long y'all been dating? I think 3 years. I said, how long he been locked up? A couple of months. I said, so he just asked you for marriage now that he's in jail? She was like, yeah. I said, oh, but he wasn't asking you for marriage when he was out, huh? No. How long he's supposed to be in jail for? 8 years. I said, hold up. So you're supposed to do an 8-year bid? That's what you're going to do? I don't know. I said, girl, you better put your running shoes on. He better do that bid on his own. You got kids you got to take care of. And that's what's wrong with some of these ladies. Y'all, I mean, I'm telling you, some people get in here. It's like the, I call them Lyft confessions. I be hearing a lot of stuff. I met this one guy, and he was a black guy, and he looked like a regular dude, and he was talking about his friends' sisters are so stupid because they want to get with him not knowing that he's gay. And I was like, oh, really? So how long you been gay? For 20 years? Man, these DC dudes are ratchet. This is a grown man. I mean, he didn't look like he was gay, but he was all like, he ended up getting locked up. And the way he talked about the guy he was with cheated on him with another guy, and when I see them, I'm going to bust both of them up. I was like, oh, dear. If I had pearls, y'all, I wanted to clutch him. I said, jeepers. And he was like, yeah, these DC guys are ratchet. They just want to go out here and just screw and mess with anything. And I'm all like this, tell me more, you know, so I could go back and tell the girls. Y'all better watch out who y'all dating out here. These dudes out here, sometimes, I'm telling you, the pickings are slim to nothing. Y'all, you know, I talk too much and I get so sidetracked there. But getting back to that passenger, could you turn it down? She was so dramatic. I said, this is somebody, and I don't know why, but when she gets in the car, I get this really strict vibe. Like, you were mean as heck to your children, too. Like, you so strict. This lady have to be, like, in her late 50s. I'm like, you don't crack a smile at all. Even when I first picked her up before, I'm like, how's your day going? Fine. Okay, you know, your morning's going pretty good. Yeah. So, like I said, some people don't like to be talked to, and I get it. After the first 2 times I try talking to you and you don't want to say anything back, I get it. You just don't want to be talked to. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. You just don't want to be talked to. I had one mother who I was taking her somewhere, and then when I pulled off, I turned back around. She was getting her children. She was in the car. Y'all better sit down. Like, it's like all of them must have got a whooping or something because they was acting up. I was like, you know, I was in the car like, let me hurry up and drop them off. Don't you say a word. How y'all gonna act up? And I was like, oh, Lord. You know, she had like 3, 4 of them, and they all in the back seat. I was like, oh, I gotta drop them off quick. I gotta drop them off real quick. I had this white guy, he gets in the car, and he's all talking about there's this new app now where you can order weed online, and they'll deliver you some frozen pizza with a side thing of weed. I'm like, really? I mean, I be getting a lot of people, and it's like, yeah, it's so cool. I'm just like, wow. They got all types of stuff out here. But y'all, I just wanted to give y'all that. You know, I'm gonna just sit up here chatting. Let me run up in here in this McDonald's and get back to grind. And I hope I don't get any more passengers like that trying to throw a loop in my vibe. These are my tunes. These are my tunes. If you don't like it, find another. Look, I'll be like, look, you want to get another Lyft ride? Go ahead. You know, it's not going to hurt my feelings. You want to be comfortable? I want to be comfortable too. Trust me, you'll pay that money to be comfortable, and I'll get my money somewhere else to be comfortable too. Y'all have a great day.